TalesFromYourServer, episode 36. How can I get servers to stop treating me poorly when I dine alone? I've had an issue lately where, when I dine alone at a fine dining place for a special occasion, servers can't read the room that I'm one person, or they immediately discard me because I'm not tipping $500. In one situation, a server just asked me what I wanted and then went to a four-top next to me and did a full rundown of the difference between the meat preparations and specialties without being asked. Another instance had a server trying to push a 22-ounce steak onto sides on me, like I was the diner in Meaning of Life or something. I understand there's a point where you're hustling for your job or things you have to say from management, but both times it made me feel like I don't deserve to be there. I didn't say anything, but I felt like I should have. What are your thoughts on this? I'll have the same thing. I wish I had the superpower to know when customers aren't listening to me. It would make my job so much easier. Customer 1, oh, I'll be paying for him as well. Me, alright, no problem. What can I get for you? Customer 2, oh, I'll have a number 2 with beef. Customer 1, I'll have the same thing. Me, so I have 2 number 2s with beef, is that correct? Customer 1, yes. Note, the beef is Korean beef, so it has a very distinct name. The food comes out, and I give it to them, only to have customer 1 bless me and my day with this gem. Customer 1, so, which one is chicken? Am I missing something? Me, oh, when you said same thing and I confirmed that they were both beef, you said yes. Customer 1, well, I wanted chicken, I don't even know what beef is. Customer 2, dude, she asked if you wanted beef, and you said yes. Suck it up. He didn't leave a tip, shocker, but at least his friend made him own up to his mistake. If I hadn't confirmed his order, I would remade it as it would be my mistake. However, I did, so it was clear he didn't want to listen to a wage slave, because he's more important than that. Small brain fart that made my day. Last night, a customer ordered a steak. I asked her how she'd like it cooked. With nothing but unrestrained confidence, she blurted out, over easy. There was about a second or two of silence as we processed, then the hysterical gut-splitting laughter hit us both. Medium rare. She wanted it medium rare. Don't worry though, when I delivered it to the table, I'll let her know it was over easy. Fired for putting an ashtray on a table. I'm an idiot both for what I did and for going to work high. I work at a popular upscale restaurant as a server. I was bringing drinks inside the restaurant from the outside bar. I had picked up a full ashtray from a table outside to bring to the dishwasher after I delivered the drinks. I should have never done this. So I went inside, got to the table, set down the full ashtray of cigarettes on the table, and said here you are, and walked to the kitchen with the drinks still in my hand. I realized what I did when it was too late. Customers complained. Fired. Douchey note about gratuity. Had a 7-top at lunch today, all older folks. They came in because one of their granddaughters told them they need to try our burgers, blah blah. One lady, L1 from now on, asks if we have cherry coke and acts mortified when I tell her no, and interrupting me as I try to explain that we can add grenadine to regular coke if she wants. Whatever, just one lady, no biggie. Then I notice one of the men has a Trump 2020 hat on *EYEROLL*. Then a different lady, L2, gets huffy with me because we don't have sweet and sour sauce for her chicken strips. Well, I get all their food out with no problems, aside from L2 having to settle for honey mustard, and when they're ready I get their checks split up and take them out. One lady asks for an empty to-go cup for her soda, and the first lady asks for one too. As I bring them their cups I hear L1 telling the rest of the table that don't tip extra, it's included. Don't want y'all to spend too much. So I explain that any table of 7 or more is automatically assigned an 18% pre-tax gratuity, and they grumble agreement. Then as I'm cleaning the table I see that L2's receipt has a note on it. She crossed out the line for additional tip and wrote not when told what to pay. Would have been more. If you would have tipped more, why not just leave the difference on that line and be done with it? Do you think I made that rule? I just don't get it. Fuck you, lady. Oh, and the offending grat was $2.34. All my cash tips were stolen for today. I am so upset. Today, at my job someone came in and completely cleaned out my cash tips. They didn't even leave a penny. I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but our CCTV cameras are busted, so I have no proof. The guy whom I suspected it and his wife have twice called in and ordered food and never picked it up. It's a cost that the restaurant has to suffer since we are not paid to hold the food. Ever since then, if they call in, we don't make their order until they get here. They called in an order tonight, and when they got here, I told the guy the reason why it wasn't ready. I went back and told my boss that he had actually showed up, and when I got back out, the guy was acting all weird and antsy. He could hardly wait to get out of there. I depend a lot on tips. I do everything in the front end of our restaurant. I do the bagging up food for call-in orders, busing food to the tables, cleaning up the tables, taking orders, making bubble teas, answering phones, restocking the counters, restocking the bubble tea areas, doing bubble tea inventory, cleaning the front carpets, mopping floors, and cleaning the bathroom. I work my tail off, and I do a good job. Cash tips are typically around $20. That's a lot of money to lose. While I did get the credit card tips, thank heavens we have those, I was really needing the extra cash flow to buy my asthma meds, or to help pay to fix/replace my hearing aids, or to keep my psoriasis under control, or to take care of other health issues I have. Money is tight, and they just made it even tighter for me. I'm tired. I'm upset. I feel the injustice of them stealing my money, and at the moment, I feel very much done with customers. I work my tail off, and one person just takes away every expression of gratitude other people have shown me that they can. That hurts. Edit, let me clarify, the tips help buy my asthma meds and take care of other medical needs, but one night of lower tips won't make me unable to buy necessities. It just makes my budget this month a little tighter. My biggest concern financially right now is that my hearing aids started malfunctioning really badly last week, and I need to replace them. I was hoping to start putting more money from tips towards that, but it could be a while out before I could afford them. The extra in tips gives me more room to both take care of myself right now and to also put aside some to fix or buy new hearing aids. If I could afford new ones altogether, that'd be really nice, as my old ones are really staticky, and always have been. There is a possibility that a few companies out there assist people in getting new hearing aids when money's tight, but I don't know if I qualify or not. However, please do not offer to send me money. It is so sweet of you to make the offer, and I truly am grateful for such offers. This post wasn't to ask for money, but to just express my frustration. I'm not comfortable accepting money from strangers, but the kindness that inspires such offers is so encouraging. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there a polite way to let my server know I drink a lot during meals? I'm not currently a server, and if this isn't allowed, I'm sorry. I was hoping to get feedback from actual servers on an issue I have pretty frequently. I often drink a ridiculous amount with meals, not alcohol, just tea or soda. During the course of a typical meal, I may drink 4 to 5 glasses. I know it's a pain in the ass for servers to constantly have to come to my table for refills. Often they don't come quickly, and I wind up having to ask for refills, which annoys them and me. I've tried asking at the beginning of the meal for 2 glasses at once, which only seemed to anger the server. I think she thought I was insinuating she wasn't going to provide good service, when in reality I was just trying to minimize the number of trips she would need to make. So, is there a polite way to say, hey, I'm going to want an obnoxious amount to drink during this meal? Have any servers eaten food that other people have left when they bring the plates back in the kitchen? I've worked at a vast array of restaurants. I grew up quite poor, so seeing people waste food still affects me somewhat. I worked at a family-owned pizza place once where the norm was, if a group didn't take their leftover pizza home, the staff would eat it, and no one thought anything of it. I've also worked at casual dining chains like Fridays, where this would be considered disgusting. And I've worked in fine dining, the type of place that has different food for the employees than the guests, but most of the time the free employee food is wiped out right away. My thoughts are, if I would make out with this person, I'd certainly share food with them, so if I see a trophy wife that took 2 bites out of her lobster, I've got no problem eating the rest back in the kitchen. If I'd smash, I smash. Campers. Okay industry folks, what's your worst/longest camper story? I'm currently waiting on a 4-top that has been at the same table for over 6 hours. They started at 11 AM for an early lunch, and it is now 5 PM. They show no sign of leaving, and we need to set for dinner service with multiple reservations. Update, the official time was 8 hours 25 minutes, heathens. Well, call me Newton. So this was a couple of years back now. I work at a cozy little countryside pub in the UK and we are well known in the area for our food. On this particular night it was very busy and due to the nature of the pub I was the only waitress on. We had a group of 4 come in, and they were complaining all night about little bits, but nothing too much. Then came desserts. Now at the time we were serving this s'mores sundae which was creamy, chocolatey goodness and we'd heard plenty of rave reviews about it, so naturally one of this group ordered it. After I'd brought it out I was waved back over to the table and was told in no uncertain terms that I'd tried to cheat him out of the chocolate sauce by putting it all at the bottom. Now note, there was obviously chocolate streaks down this glass, but chocolate sauce is a liquid. Politely, I tried to explain that there was chocolate sauce, but was interrupted by them saying they expected it throughout the sundae and not just at the bottom, and that I had to remake it. Naturally, we in the kitchen had a good laugh about the guy in his 50s that needed extra schooling on gravity. We dribbled slightly more sauce on top of the sundae and brought it out, and he seemed satisfied. TL, doctor, guy complained as the chocolate sauce in his dessert fell to the bottom of the glass, had to be reminded about gravity. After about a year of doing this, I've adapted an ability to spot non-tippers before I even serve them, usually. But that also means I spot these same people in public, and I can't go back now. Paying for part of the bill in cash, then only tipping on the credit card portion, or how I made $6 on 4-top and fine dining. Background: I work at a very nice restaurant, $109 per person average, in Kai. Today I had a 4-top of adults aged 30 to 40 come in. Each person gets a glass of cheap wine, $10 sign, and a soup, $11. I'm not mad, whatever, maybe they just wanted to sit and talk in a fancy restaurant. The bill's around $97, an absolute trash 4-top at my store. If I didn't have a $870 6-top earlier it would destroyed my per person average that night. I go to collect the check and they say to use the 50 then split the rest on cards. 3 checks come out to like $14.87 each. To tip me 3, 1 tips me 5. After tipping out 5% of my sales I'm left with $6. I'm not even mad, I just can't imagine being that fucking cheap. They spent $110 on soup and wine. Tipping when dining at a restaurant you work at? Hey, also I have a question. I work as a host in a restaurant that I love to dine at. I went last night and the bill came out to $52 with about $24 in discount. I'm not sure how to go about tipping. I ended up tipping a little over $30 to account for what the discount of the food would be plus a few extra $. One of my friends who is also a server said that was way too much, but I felt like tipping less than the amount of the discounted food would be weird. Thinking of it, it does seem to negate the discounts I received as that money went into the tip. However, my total including tip ended up being about $82, whereas without the tip the regular bill would have been about that plus tip, so $100. What's the general consensus with tipping your coworkers when you go into where you work to dine? This is in a US city. Grabbed and scolded by customer over dish miscommunication. This is a pretty long story with some necessary detail added, just bear with me for an insane customer story. So I work at a fairly well-known Italian restaurant in my area. I've worked there for about 5.5 years in total, so it's safe to say I know all the menu items, procedures, etc. Anyway, it was a lunch shift and we were incredibly busy and short-staffed in almost every aspect of the restaurant. It was one of those I don't know if and how I'm going to make it through this rush. I'm up next for a table and I get sat at one top. He immediately orders ravioli. I specify and say, "Sir, did you want the meat ravioli?" Being the fact we have 3 types on the menu, he says yes. I drop off the food, wait a few minutes, go over to check on him, and that's when the shit begins to hit the fan. Crazy customer will be CC, me, "How's everything tasting, sir?" CC, "This isn't ravioli." Me, *LOOKING at what is clearly ravioli, sir. "This is our traditional ravioli. Would you like a different dish?" CC, "No, I want ravioli." It comes served in a casserole dish with baked cheese. That's when I realized he could be talking about 3 other dishes. Me, "Oh, so that dish could have been." And before I could finish my sentence he raises his voice. CC, "I don't want to argue with you." Me, "Sir, that was not my intention, and I'm so sorry it came off that way. I just want you to get the dish you're thinking of." CC, "You know what? *SLAMS his hands down on the table and stands up *, just give me my bill. This is ridiculous. I knew I shouldn't have come here. Bring me my bill." Me, at this point I'm so taken aback, and so busy I look him in the eye, while raising my voice now, "Cool." I quickly run over to my manager, give her the shortest explanation, something along the lines on "There's this crazy man at table 19 pissed. Here's his bill, I won't be returning to him." So I walk over to my other table past him, and I feel a hand on my should spin me around, and it's the crazy dude who yells at me in front of my other tables. "I'm not here to argue with you." At this point I'm so fed up and pissed off he actually laid his hand on me. I stick my hand in his face and yell, "Sir, there is no argument because I'm right. You my GOC my manager now." He continues to cause a scene in the lobby for about 4 minutes before my manager tells him, "You know what, don't worry about your bill, just get out." If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my most frustrating, insane, and worst customer experience. TL, Doctor, crazy customer grabs me over misunderstanding over dish he ordered. I need help trying to step down from shift manager back to server. Been at my current job for a year in December. Got hired on as a server and was promoted to shift manager within the first few months. Only agreed to do it for a month while the other managers all took their vacations. Since then we have lost 2 managers, and I was asked to stay on and help till they got staffed. No one has been hired since I started helping, but there is always talk of someone about to start or starting next week. I'm afraid if I tell my GM I want to step down he is going to take it personal. It's just me and him there full time. Any other managers are borrowed from another location. I was okay with it all during the slow summer months, even though I still could have made more money serving. Now the busy months are coming, and I don't want to miss that Christmas money. The other issue is really just time. My wife works a free 9 to 5 job and I currently close 5 nights a week as my GM only opens. At least when I'm serving I leave an hour or 2 earlier when I close, and am able to see my wife before she has to go to bed. Not to mention the ability to work some mornings. Anybody ever been in this situation and got out of it successfully? How should I go about this? Anyone have experience being a afternoon tea server? Okay, well, for the past year and a half I've been serving at a diner type restaurant. Think Denny's, IHOP. It was my first serving job, so I don't have full service restaurant experience, much less upscale dining experience. However, I somehow got an interview at an upscale European restaurant for a serving position. Due to them having such complex dishes and hundreds of different wines I have no experience with, the manager ended up telling me that it would not be best to start me off serving. However, this restaurant is owned and connected to a hotel, which has English style afternoon tea time in the hotel lobby for a few hours of every afternoon with light food and desserts served with it, and I was offered a job at a tea server, and was told if I could do that through the holidays in January she'd talk to me about being a food server. The only thing is I have no experience or knowledge of tea serving. The pay is $8 an hour plus tips, but the tips are pooled among the tea servers. Just wondering if anyone has had experience tea serving. I don't know what kind of money to expect from this. I assume this is worth leaving my other job for, because it's an upscale restaurant, but I'm a little unsure, and would love some advice on with somewhat limited hours, probably 5 to 6 hour shifts from what I can gather, and no knowledge on how good the tips are. I know people's bills will be low compared to dinner, if I should take the job, or if anyone else has ever been a tea server. What's the best way to learn a menu quickly? I've been serving for about a year. Just started working as support staff at a really nice restaurant because I want to be able to ease in and not get thrown into the fire. My coworkers love me. It's definitely easier to make a good impression as support instead of a server right off the bat. This company routinely promotes their support to servers, and most of the servers have asked why I'm not serving, yet have said that I'll have an easy time getting promoted. However, the menu is huge. Learning menus is the most challenging thing for me at new restaurants, and I was wondering if you guys have any tips on how to do a thorough job memorizing it, but also in a timely manner.